Hello everybody, good evening. Welcome back to After Hours, brought to you by Glenfarclas. I believe it is still evening. No, not still evening. But
it's definitely evening, Chris.
It could be late afternoon. It's only 5 o'clock, but welcome back, guys. It's great to have them all here.
It's good to be here. Chris, you are not in your jacket today, though. Tell us what happened there, because I think your mother stole it.
Yeah,
right?
she didn't. She probably has stolen it. But basically, I went out in my car last night. She joined me, saw it was a bit messy. So being a mother, she cleaned my car this morning. It was an organised mess, but I have forgot my jacket. So if I look like I'm shivering a bit tonight, I am.
We'll
basically.
look after him.
I am. Yeah. It was my Glenfarclas. It was my Glenfarclas jacket
I know it was.
as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that, just in case.
Just get the sponsors in. But yeah, tonight's guest, of course, with no introduction, she did her own intro there. Rosie Tapner, you've been out and about as well today. We've got some great VTs, as we always do, on After Hours.
Yeah, and we've got our horse expert today as well, because neither of us are an expert. So we've got our expert today, the unicorn, because that was from the family fun zone today, which was brilliant. But it's been a great day. It's been a great 3 days, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a great 3 days. Obviously, it's come to a conclusion, but we'll show you some of the footage from some of the featured races today and have a little discussion through them. But we're also joined by Simon Clay, so midway through the show, and Simon is a legend. Stepping down, clerk of the course here at Cheltenham. He's put in so much work. He is probably the most admired human being, one of the most admired human beings in racing. It's just, he does an amazing job, and it's quite an emotional thing. It's a big step for him. So he is stepping down, and we will show you and tell you all about Simon. He'll be joining us midway through. So I'm looking forward to him.
I'm looking forward
lovely
to that.
bloke
It'd
as well.
be great to chat to him, because he has now effectively left Cheltenham today. So it'd be nice to hear from him. Yeah. And yeah, I think
we'll roll back the years as well.
Give him a bit of a glass of whiskey as well.
I think he'll enjoy it.
I think he's going to need it.
He will enjoy a glass of whiskey. They're doing some building works in the background out there, actually. Conveniently timed. If you hear that, that is just someone just de-rigging, I think. But yeah, what a great Unibet Greatwood Hurdle Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I've loved most this week? It hasn't rained. It's not even been cold.
No, it's been all right until the late afternoon that we're sat in now. It's actually been all right, hasn't it?
The late afternoon.
Well, you did tell us not to bring our umbrellas today, and you know what? You were right.
I was right.
Yeah, you were
right. Came out in my suit today.
Chris.
But yeah, let's have a little look back. The Schlur Chase was one of the feature races this afternoon. Only 4 horses went to post. We'll show you the highlights now, and we'll discuss that in just a moment.
Turn to face the second last. Politolog asked for a bit more in front. Nube Negra ranging up to challenge. Politolog tackled on the left by Nube Negra, who now comes alongside. Skelton shakes him up. Nube Negra goes on, jumping on by over a length of the last from Politolog. The other 2 are well held, and it's Nube Negra chased by the gallant grey Politolog. Nube Negra drawing clear in the hands of Harry Skelton for Brother Dan. Nube Negra stamps his class and lands a marker for the season to take the Schlur Chase.
Yeah, that was absolutely class.
Yeah, absolutely flew, didn't he? They had a great day, the Skeltons.
They did. Yeah, I've got a clip. We're not going to show you just now. Just bear with it. It's been all over social media, so you may have seen it. But it's an amazing. It just goes to show the emotion of Dan Skelton. He obviously loves his horse racing, and he's had a great day.
A great day, a double straight after one after another. And then someone else who's had a great day today, Paul Nicholls, of course. 3 wins, waited a full year to have a win at Cheltenham, and 3 came along at once.
I know, 365 days since his last win.
That is a year, Chris. Well done.
To this day. That is a year.
That is a year.
Great maths. But yeah, Nube Negra getting the job done there. Obviously put the kettle on, who went off about a 15-8 favourite. Unfortunately, she didn't really travel. She was kind of unsettled, not at her best, but she finished 3rd. Rouge 5th and 4th. And Politolog, he ran a great race to finish 2nd. But we'll look now at the Greatwood Handicap Hurdle. Obviously much more competitive race, lots of runners in this, tough to pick a winner. Let's see what happened in the Greatwood Hurdle.
Black and white moving up to have a crack at No Ordinary Joe. They lock horns on the run down towards the last. They've opened up by a couple lengths from Camprond and Adagio with the striped sleeves. West Cork at the last, perhaps by a whisker from No Ordinary Joe. Adagio delivered by Tom Scudamore between horses. West Cork, Adagio, they come close together. No Ordinary Joe fighting on. Camprond is back in 4th. West Cork narrowly from Adagio. Shadows the post of the Greatwood. What a day for the Skeltons. West Cork back.
Yeah, amazing. Another one for the Skeltons. I was actually where I watched.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great finish. Adagio as well. Tom Scudamore nearly getting there, but yeah, tough West Cork. That'll be a good race. Come the festival, those horses going up against each other in a handicap in March will be very exciting. But I was down the bottom of the chute. You know where the horses peel out.
Yeah.
I was down there and I was stood with basically the stable lads and lasses who look after those horses and just seeing like the joy and jubilation.
Did you see the Dan reaction then?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Did you see it live?
I didn't see it live, but I was watching. I was just with the stable lads. I was looking at their reaction.
Okay.
People who kind of lead them out, but. Yeah, I mean, amazing. I think we should see it.
We should see it because I've watched this a good 20 times already, and I feel like any time I have a bad day, I need to watch it.
Gonna chuck this on.
Brilliant.
Here we go. I absolutely love that. I don't know what's the most could you remember the time you've most celebrated something?
Oh, Magnolia Cup. When I lost. I came second last,
what, but you
right?
still celebrated?
But I celebrated like I'd won.
What?
I came through,
when you went past the line?
Yeah, I came through the chute like, come on!
No
all
way.
my friends and family
were there cheering you on?
Yeah, so I thought I'm just going to pretend I've won. No one needs to know that.
Well,
I came
with like the
second
charity races, though, that's an achievement in itself, just to actually get yourself to
stay
the race
on.
course. Well, just to do it though, completely.
Yeah. What about you? Best moment you've cheered for? When you finally got a girlfriend?
Oh yes, that would be a moment actually.
Did you cheer for that moment?
I
found a good one.
Yeah, I cheered like privately to myself. We went on a first date. I left.
Like,
yeah, and I got in my car and I went. Do you know what? It was like that Dalboy and Rodney moment. You remember in the? You probably don't actually know. It's probably a bit before your time, isn't it?
We're the same age.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, we are.
You might look older, but
you know when they obviously sold the time clock in the auction, they got back in the car and they rocked the freewheeler. No, they chose to celebrate at the same time. A lot of our viewers will understand what I'm about, but it sounded like that. I got back in my car after securing a girlfriend, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna have my moment, and I went ballistic.
Let's hope she doesn't leave you. Just keep securing.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
No, but Dan, that was an amazing.
Yeah.
It's great to see a celebration like that and how much it means to a trainer, and also I love the family duo that's going on as well. It's great,
the family duo as well. But it's obviously the week didn't start off great. My Drogo coming down at the second last when looking a sure winner, and then you bounce back and you have a days like that. It kind of just thinks, you know what?
Isn't it?
Yeah, and he's got so much firepower, Dan Scout, and like he was the big talking point just coming into the week, like how big a week's he going to have? Third time lucky, my Drogo, etc., etc. And he proved he's got the firepower.
Yeah, and he said to Rishi afterwards on ITV, he said it was the most fun in his career as a trainer in the last hour of winning those 2 races that he's ever had on a race course.
I think that's amazing.
That's quite something, isn't it?
It's like a magic hour, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
They call it happy hour kind of thing.
I don't know if that's happy hour.
No, but great.
Happy hour is different.
Yeah, well, yeah, potentially.
I tell you what was a happy hour though.
Go on.
Family Fun Day.
I know. I was out and about today, so I've seen a few different bits and bobs. We're going to show you a VT in just a moment, but I only got out to see a small bit of like Family Fun Day, but it's just amazing to see. Like when I was flooding in this morning, when I came in, all the children flooding in, like coming in with their family, and people really get behind it. So this meeting next year, if you are watching now and you haven't been, just come, because this Sunday it's a great day. Like obviously you can see from today the racing's been unbelievable, but Family Fun Day is good for the youngsters.
Well.
Yeah, it's free for under 18s.
It's free, and you'll be very jealous because we've been talking about a special person who was going to turn up at Family Fun Day. Bing.
Bing.
I met Bing.
Did you?
Oh, I met Bing.
Should we have a look?
Yeah, let's have a look. I've come down to the Family Fun Zone, the famous Family Fun Zone here at Cheltenham, because everything here is for free and under 18s go free, so it's effectively a free day out. And I have to say, Chris, the first person I bumped into, you were asking who Bing is. This is Bing.
Hello, Bing.
Hello, Bing. I will just say, guys, I've got shorts on. I've come prepared.
And they're off and running. Oh, looks like we have a winner here, yes. Blue and silver spots.
wonderful hour down here doing so many different things. I've got my little balloon friend. I'm going to stay here and make a rosette. Don't forget that everything here today is for free, and under 18s go free as well, and it will be the same again on New Year's Day. So do come back again on New Year's Day, where, to be honest, you'll probably still find me here because I am terrible at arts and crafts.
I love that. Terrible at arts and crafts.
Oh no, I'm a lefty, and lefties can't do arts and
really?
crafts. No, absolutely not.
Simon Clace, thank you for joining. I bet you could do arts and crafts.
I don't think so, but nice to join you both this evening.
Your first thing Simon said there, God, it's a bit chilly up here. I thought the same. Rosie went, God, you men feel the cold.
Seriously, they're all pathetic. I'm the one with bare legs here.
But, I know.
On, a lot of you.
I know we have. But Simon, this is a big day, really. Stepping down after 20 years. It's been an amazing career. I was just said before you got here, one of the most admired people in horse racing, hugely well respected, and it's just been just try to sum it up how much you've enjoyed your time.
How long have we got?
Oh, long as you want.
You know, I've been working.
If it's too long, I'll cut you off.
I've been working here for longer than you two have been alive, pretty well. I think.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing.
It's a long time, and I consider it, on reflection, to have been the most wonderful honour and privilege to have played a part in the development of the racecourse, in particular the Cheltenham Festival.
100%.
There's just so much that's been going on in the last 22, 23 years. I'm just such a lucky man, and to be in a wonderful sporting venue such as this, world renowned for what we do here, particularly in March time. I just think I'm really lucky. I can't actually believe it's over. I'm still sort of coming to grips with the fact that I think I'm stepping down. I'll probably appear here in December and walk around with a radio and try and take over.
I was going to say, someone like you, that's why we're only calling it stepping down, because when you step down, you can step back up, right?
Yeah, that's very true. That's very
exactly.
True. Yeah. But it's been absolutely fantastic, and I think I have to say, of all the memories I have of the sports here, this year's festival, despite the fact that we had no owners, despite the fact that we had no spectators, was probably the most awesome 4 days of sport that I can remember at this venue.
Yeah.
To see what Rachel Blackmore did, and goodness me, she saved my bacon the other day, because my colleagues were joking that I haven't presided over a walkover here.
Yeah.
And of course, when two horses went out there, I was thinking, oh God, we got away with that one. And they'd also said, you haven't had a void race, which is when nobody finishes.
Yeah.
So when they nearly both fell at the second last,
that was quite a moment.
So great job she did. But what she and Henry did through those 4 days this year, despite the fact that we had no people to witness it on the ground, was just awesome. How lucky have I been to see win 3 Gold Cups on the bounce, 2002, 3 and 4. Best mate, Henrietta Knight.
Yeah.
Terry Billigan, what characters those were with Jim Cullity.
Jim Cullity, yeah.
But then, however many years later it was, 17, 18 years later, to see Henry de Bromhead win what we call the Holy Trinity of the Champion Hurdle, the Queen Mother and Gold Cup, and to have 6 winners in the week, and for Rachel to have 6 winners.
Phenomenal.
It was amazing.
It was absolutely incredible.
Just showcase the firepower. Now we're going to talk to you. We're going to I'm going to ask you a load of questions that people will want to hear, answers they'll want from you. But we've got a VT here.
Yeah, Simon, we went out today and we spoke to a few of your fellow colleagues, and let's just see what they had to say.
More embarrassment.
Simon Clace, tough man to work with. Not easy. No, he was lovely. An absolute joy to work with over the last 20 years. Every question that you had, he answered in a polite and reassuring manner as well.
Every morning at the festival, I always walk around the corner into the weighing room, into Simon's little office, and sit on his desk and ask him what the ground's like. And normally you get a line and they say, oh, it's this or it's that. With Simon, it's so absolutely spot on.
Long and short of it all, we're really going to miss him here at Cheltenham. He's been great to have around. He's given us some good times. There's been some bad times splashing around in the mud when he's told us it's not too bad. Wind, rain, he's put us through everything, but at the end of the day he's always made it as safe as he possibly can and as best possible ground as he could, so we'll miss him very much.
It's the job nobody wants, I think, clerk of the course. You can't please everyone. You might want fast ground, I might want soft ground. We'll both put some pressure, and to be able to resist that and still maintain your enthusiasm for so long, because it was obvious every time he was interviewed it meant so much to Simon.
He's had some really good days and some really bad days, but through it all he's coped, and he's just kept his sense of humour and kept his great personality.
I think the biggest tribute I can pay to Simon is that he has seamlessly fitted into the Cheltenham executive so well, and I think great tribute to Cheltenham that they've always found the very, very best.
I have lots of good memories about Simon looking after a stage like Cheltenham as well as he's done. You know, you have to be amazingly good at your job to have lasted the test of time that he has done.
Yeah, Simon's been super for the last, as long as I've been coming here, 15 years. Festival, when it's a nightmare to get tickets or get into the final fence after racing, when you want to have a bit of fun after a long week. He was always very obliging and giving a few extra passes and really making us feel welcome, so we're really going to miss him.
Well, Simon Clace retiring today. It was one of the saddest things ever. We've had some great moments with you, Simon. You've been a complete star. You've revolutionised the racecourse, even though we've had one day when I remember my son riding around here in a 4-mile chase and the barriers weren't quite closed. But you jumped over all the barriers, knocked over 3 people and put the rails up in time. So well done. Enjoy your retirement. You deserve it.
A lot of happy times with Simon over the last 20 years, and I wish him a very happy retirement.
And what I like about him most, this shows his professionalism, is that one day at Haydock, off his own back, he came and saw behind the scenes on ITV how we do it to help him know how he should do it. And I just thought that was brilliant and an example to a lot of other people. And above all, he's just a brilliant operator, but he's also just a brilliant bloke as well.
Wow. 2 amazing comments from colleagues, jockeys, trainers, Ed Chamberlain. It's that's obviously, it goes to show for people who are watching this who don't necessarily know everything you do. I mean, you're held in such high regard.
It's moving stuff, isn't it? You'd wonder how much I'd pay them all to say that. Nice of Kim Bailey to remind me about one of what could have been a real excuse me, but thingy up.
yeah, a cock up is the word. You're allowed to swear on this show.
Oh, okay.
No, tell me about that.
So I had a tradie clerk of the course working with me. It was the Hunter's evening, and I tend to try and let them get on and do the job. And Kim's son Harry was riding in the 4-mile.
Yeah.
And you're probably familiar with the fact that the course layout changes depending on which lap they're going on. And so they come up past the stands for the first time. I'm in the box next to where the stewards and I oversee racing. Talking to some sponsors, and I'm just not really paying a huge amount of attention because the young lad is on my left next door doing everything that he should do. And horses go thundering past out into the country for the first time, and the phone goes, and it's Kim. And he said, you better have a look at what they're doing to the track layout down there. He said, this is a 4-mile race. They need to go round again when they come back to
so they
home straight, not go to the winning post. So I went next door to see the fellow whose name I won't mention other than the fact that he's called Andrew Morris and works at Chester Racecourse. And I said, what's going on down there? They've moved the tape too early. They're going to send them to the post. They'll only have done 2.5 miles instead of 4. I said, what are you going to do about it? So he flapped a little bit and tried to get hold of the guy who was down there who'd done the tape circuit too early. He couldn't get hold of him. And so I tried to ring through. I couldn't get hold of him either, and I thought this is going to be the end of me because it wouldn't be the first cock-up I've had with movable tape. So I decided to run all the way down the stairs to the bottom of the grandstand, and I sprinted across the members' lawn and I knocked over this poor 2-year-old little child, with which the father came absolutely tanking after me, and just as he was about to grab me, I leapt over the fence at the end of the lawn onto the course, looked left-handed, and the horses were jumping the second last. I thought, this is it, this is curtains, they're going to run to the line, circuit too early.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, they jumped last, and somehow the boys had got the message, and the tape was in the right place, and round they went again.
How early on in your career at Cheltenham was that?
Oh, this was probably I'd been here 7 or 8 years.
So you had, okay, so not too soon.
So
it's one of the unique things about this track that there are layout changes during the race. It's very rare that happens on other courses, other than maybe when they just run to the line.
What would have been the well, obviously it'd been a void race.
It would have been a void race, yeah, which is, everybody's worst nightmare because the horses and riders have gone out there and they've done their bit and they've jumped the jumps, and then some clown has got the layout wrong.
Simon, you must have had
so
many moments like that, though.
Not too many.
Hopefully not too many, actually. Hopefully not too many because you're a professional. But there must have been some funny memories over the last, over 20 years. Any of your fondest memories here at Cheltenham?
I was talking to Ruby about it the other day, actually, because I always think of Windy Wednesday, we call it, when in 2008 we lost the Wednesday because the wind had knocked over a whole load of the structures at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Wednesday of the festival, and when I was here at about 4:15 or so, it was quite clear that the site wasn't going to be safe to allow spectators here to allow horses to move around. And we took the decision pretty early doors that we're going to lose the Wednesday. Normally in those circumstances you preserve, you know, the Grade 1 races and run them the next couple of days. So that would have been the Queen Mother and RSA. But I had this madcap idea of sitting there with Edward Gillespie that maybe we'll run all of them in the next 2 days. And so that's what we decided to do. The weather was set fair. It looked like we'd be able to squeeze in 10 races on the Thursday.
Yeah, I was going to say 9, 10 race cards.
9 on the Friday. And I remember on the Friday, the last race was the County Hurdle, and it was Ruby Walsh's 16th ride in 2 days. So he'd had good fortune to ride masterminded on the Thursday to win the Queen Mother. Odd day to have a Queen Mother, but we'd moved it. Earlier on the Friday, he'd won the Ballymore on 5 for 3 for Willie, and Celestial Halo won the Triumph with him for Paul Nicholls. Anyway, it's his 16th ride in the 2 days, and he come. I'm standing at the exit to the paddock, and he looks at me in this weary way, and he just said, "I want to go home." And I knew how he felt.
I was about to say, yeah, you can mirror that feeling.
Felt, you know, 19 races in 2 days, and bizarrely, we managed to keep them all to time. It was the most amazing time, and funny enough, you know, that was the year that Denman beat Coulter.
I remember.
I was reflecting the other day on, you know, my favourite races, and I said to Ruby, it was probably 2009 when Coulter came back and got his Gold Cup crown back again.
Got the revenge.
Yeah.
So what, going back to the very start, essentially, how did you get the job here?
I used to have a grandfather who lived some miles away, and I used to see him, you know, a couple of times a year. He was a huge fan of the ITV7, as it happened.
Yeah.
You wouldn't remember it, you two, I don't suppose. The ITV7.
No, I know about it, but yeah.
And we used to sit down and watch the racing, and I happened to be there, and I did have to look it up to make sure I got the right year. But it was the festival 1973 when Ron Barry won the Gold Cup on a horse called the Dickler.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably my earliest memories. Sadly, my poor grandpa died not long after that, and so I didn't follow horse racing for a bit then. But the interesting thing was, when I stopped a farming job in my sort of late 20s and I went to work for the racing regulator, Ron Barry was one of the team of course inspectors that I used to manage and look after the licensing of courses, and we became really, really good friends. So I'd say that back in 1973, long time ago.
Yeah. And the best day you've ever had in all those years?
That's a lot of them. Must be a lot of days.
I want to know. Yeah, plenty of days.
Yeah.
Can you remember? I know you've probably got so many though.
I do have many, but you know, I mentioned this year's festival earlier, and you know what
that stands out for you.
What Rachel and Henry did, and I think, you know, for Henry, having won the Queen Mother and Champion Hurdle, to come out with Manila Indo and win the Gold Cup this year was just absolutely amazing. And you know, as I said, to have been here when a trainer has won those 3 big races is something that I don't think my successor or his successor will see again. I mean, that was just absolutely.
It's a magic place. That just goes to show out. That's Cheltenham in a nutshell, though, isn't it? It's a sporting theatre where we get those moments. Remember the magic hour we got as well with Bryony in Paisley Park. It's it's
and another one, of course, and you know, Nicky Henderson wasn't the only one almost in floods of tears. When Sprinter Sacra won the Queen Mother in 2016, not having won it for 3 years, he then had a problem with his heart.
Yeah.
The reception that horse got back.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Here behind us in the winners' enclosure.
Made your neck of your hair stand
Yes,
up.
it still does now when I think about it. Actually, I mean, it was wonderful stuff.
I was going to say, sorry, Simon, you've had a lot of compliments over 20 years, obviously, quite rightly, but I can imagine there have been a few complaints as well. Do you have a weirdest complaint? Has anyone come to you with the strangest complaint or kind of thought that they need to talk to you about?
I was asked once why the New Year's Day meeting is always on the 1st of January, and I didn't have difficult one to answer.
Yeah, you got to then question who you're about to have a conversation with about that. But I bet you've met some right funny people in your time, haven't you?
I have indeed, and that's been one of the great joys of working here. And I found over these last 3 days that people I've never met before just come up to me and say, "Oh, well done, mate, you've done a fantastic job, and thank you." And
that must mean so much to you, that even people that you don't know and haven't heard of, you've made an impact on their life without even realising.
Yeah, it's a very special place, and it's not really down to me. It's all the people who work for me and support me. Everything that we do here is a team effort. You know, it's not just the guy who's out in front of the camera and talking to you. does all the work. It's everybody else who makes it come together.
Well, that's obviously quite amusing, like the question you were asked then. But what's one of the funniest things that's actually happened with your time here? There must have been some times where you've.
Well, I had a great laugh with Lord Vestey when he was chairman once. I mean, I mentioned the thing with Ruby because, for him to say that he wanted to go home, I thought was hilarious. He and I were in the parade ring, probably not 3 or 4 years into my job here, and we were just watching Zara Phillips, as she was then, Zara Tyndall, try and walk across the parade ring in 6-inch heels, and of course every step she took she sunk further into the mud, and she literally fell into both of our arms because she couldn't take another step.
You were there to save her.
I certainly was.
As you always do.
Stopped her planting her face in the mud.
Yeah, well, talking of planting the face in the mud, what's the weirdest thing that's happened to the ground at Cheltenham?
Well, that's a really good question, Chris. Ever since 2006, we've been using things called frost covers that they use in rugby and football regularly for, particularly the games that have been televised. And so for the last 15 years, we've been using them on racecourses to try and protect meeting, particularly through December, January.
With the frost and all that.
That's why they're frost covers.
Good point.
I remember one year we put them down we put them down on a Sunday for the December meeting. And when the boys were going around putting these covers down, they came to 2 parts of the course where the Prestbury Flood Relief Scheme goes under the course. So it's a huge drain.
Right.
And they said, do you realise that the ground on top of the drain, it's about 18 inches of racecourse on top of it, is frozen solid?
Oh, no.
And I went and had a look and blew me down. It was frozen solid.
Yeah.
I thought, well, that's not too much of a bother. I've had plenty of colleagues who have put frost covers down and then they find maybe the frost gets underneath it. And they end up pouring hot water on it. There are ways that you can try and
soften it out.
So I thought, that'll be all right, we'll do that. And the weather for the whole of that week continued to be extremely cold. And so we decided to build tents over this part of the course and blow hot air in there, like the things you heat marquees up with. Realising that at the time we were doing it, we were turning the grass underneath into something a bit like hay. And it was a funny week that because we had one of the Racing Post journalists here sort of seeing how we prepare the course, in a cold period of time. And he was up in the press room, and clearly I wanted to say, look, we've got a bit of an issue here, but I was persuaded not to.
Right.
And so we were still cooking the course on the Wednesday and then Thursday night. I went to see the boys out there on the Thursday night before I had to go to a dinner with some people who'd come over from France. There was a lovely fellow who used to work for us called Steve Payne, who was sitting there making sure the blower was still working, had lots of paraffin in it. I said, you better go under there and have a bit of a poke around. And so the poor fellow had a pair of spectacles on, so we walked under there and his spectacles shattered. So he had to come out and say, well, I can't tell you what it's like. So I went and had a poke around. Of course, it was still rock solid. And I thought, yet again, this is the end of my career because the next morning it's going to be rock hard and we're going to have to call the whole thing off. I went to the dinner and came out at about 11:30, checked the ground again, and they were still blowing hot air. It was still absolutely frozen solid in 2 places right the way across the width of the port. And I just resigned myself to the fact that the next morning we were going to have to call racing off because the ground was frozen. Blow me down. I went out there at 5 o'clock in the morning, went under the covers, and it had all thawed out. So it was all okay. But it was a really weird thing to have happened.
I'm going to say, I bet you did some gas on that as well. Those heaters, they take some fuel in.
They do indeed, yeah.
Wow.
So we're extra cautious now. If we have to use frost covers and we put them over that big drain that goes under the track, we put about 5 or 6 of them down.
So what, did that drain leak or something, or is that just...
No, what we think had happened was the water flow in this drain, which is about a metre square, so it was a hefty old thing.
Yeah.
When we had the floods in the county in 2007, it couldn't take all the water away from Prestbury. It was the Prestbury Flood Relief Scheme. All the water ran over the top of the course and washed away all the gallops. But the water level was really low, and what we think happened is that the airflow, there wasn't enough airflow, and so that air got really, really cold.
Yeah.
It's the lowest part of the course. It happens to be the coldest part of the course.
What a relief.
I also love the fact that there was a press man there. That it always happens when someone's there to write about it.
Yes, and of course,
how you prepare the ground. Everything likes to go wrong just as that happens.
And we were hoping that he wouldn't notice what we were doing.
Notice those tents on the other end of the golf, on the other end of the race course.
But talking of people you've had to deal with over the past, your favourite jockey, who have you got on
Oh, look,
best
I love
with
them
and
all.
why? Good answer,
but we need a favourite.
Well, look, I tell you a young fellow, and he happened to be on there, and I think you went to school with him.
Sam.
Who I've known since he was 7.
Yeah.
Because I came up to the county, was it late in '99 or something, and Nigel and Kathy were near neighbours, so I got to know those boys from a young age, and then of course they were doing the pony racing and whatever.
Yeah, that's it. In the Raymond Mould silks.
And Sam has never been anything other than the most polite that I've ever known, so I'd put him right up there with the others, but I love them all.
Yeah, oh, that's lovely.
Mostly.
Yeah, Sam's a good. Yeah, Sam is a good stick, bless him.
We won't ask you who your least favourite jockey is.
Yeah, we won't ask you that. Who are you going to miss the most, though?
Well, do you know what? That's a question I'm not prepared to answer because, as I said, everything I've done has been because of the great team that I've had behind me. There isn't one particular individual who I'm going to say, look, that individual was key, because there are just so many of them, whether they're working directly for me or whether it's my colleagues, or whether it's you folk in the media, the broadcasters or the print media. I've just had such a ball with all of them, so I'm not going to give you just one name. I'd say you, probably miss you.
That's
wow.
great.
And you.
Yeah, thank you. Leave me out there.
Well, that was.
No, do you know what? It's just been such a ball,
There are too many
and that's what's made the whole job so special.
And made it fun
so
as well.
many lovely people.
Because you have those early morning starts, but you have to enjoy that.
I'm not sure if I do these days, and the one thing I won't, one thing I won't miss is worrying about whether it's raining, not raining, whether it's cold, whether it's snowing, whether so
you don't have to check the forecast now.
No.
What a relief.
To relax.
I can do that.
Do you know the thing about the weather for? I said this. I think I might have said this. Yeah. It's the easiest job in the world, being a what are they called? Weather forecasters, weatherman.
Yes.
Because when you're wrong, no one comes after you.
No, that's absolutely right.
But they'll come after you if you get the ground wrong.
Yeah.
But they don't come after the person on the TV.
Simon might go after the weatherman.
Yeah, you could go after him. But
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, it's like the people who said, "Why didn't you do so and so after the event?"
Yeah.
And there are plenty
Well,
of those
everything's
around.
hindsight, isn't it?
Plenty of those.
Yeah, they're a pain in the arse, aren't they? Those people.
They are.
They are indeed. But no, this is it's obviously great to have you on here, and I just don't know how to sum this up. Really, you're a bit of a legend, aren't you? Really,
Absolutely.
Simon. And you will be missed.
Stepping down. You're not.
No, you'll be
you're
back.
Stepping down from Cheltenham, but you've still got more of life to go. So
I have indeed.
This isn't the end of Simon.
No, it most
know?
certainly isn't.
So, Simon, what's your next plan in life?
Do you know,
What's next?
I haven't got one, but I took the decision back in the summer that it was a really good time for me in the business, for me to step down. 20 festivals I think is a long time for anybody.
It's a good effort.
And I said to my predecessor, my ambition had always been, and I said this to Sam Vesti when I was interviewed for the job, this is a job for life. But I wanted to do as many years as my predecessor, Philip Arkcroft.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I took the decision, I rang him up and I said, I'm not going to quite get to your 23 years. He said, I didn't know I'd done 23 years. But I said, actually, I've done more festival days than him. Because he only had to do 3-day festivals and I've done 4.
Exactly. So you've done a lot more.
So, that's a long, long time to be at it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be exciting for the business to have John, taking over, and he's going to be a great guy at it. But I have taken the view that I just want to spend, a couple of months taking stock and deciding what it is that I want to do next.
I think you deserve a bit of a break and be able to go to bed at night without worrying about what the ground's going to be the next morning.
Do that, but
we'll take a few months off, and then come end of February, we'll be getting the wellies
He'll
back
be
out.
back again.
In March you'll be here, you'll be the festival, he'll be back. It's obvious, isn't it? That's what's going to happen.
Do you know what I'm going to enjoy for the first time since probably 1999, actually sitting at home, I think, and watching the festival.
And enjoying Christmas as well.
Sitting in the warmth.
Yeah. Christmas and New Year, you can enjoy
We're going to go away to Scotland for New Year, so it's the first time we will have been away for
well done.
20, 23, 24 years.
Oh, brilliant.
So
go and enjoy it.
Looking forward to that enormously.
Simon, well done. And talking of the festival in March, just remember you can get your festival tickets, best price before midnight on Monday the 15th of November. So if you want to come to the festival, see the gang and Simon, no doubt, then make sure you get online and get your tickets. And we'll be back. After hours, we'll be back at the festival. We usually give you a closing montage of the racing and the action today, but today we're going to leave you a closing montage of this legend sat on my right, Simon Clace, absolute hero. And this was from the McCoys a few weeks ago. The Jockey Club put this together. It's a lovely touching piece. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks for having me.
And all the best for the remainder.
That's really kind of you.
Bless you. Thank you. See you soon, guys.
Simon, we're going to miss you. We've had some wonderful years when you've looked after us all so well, and there are going to be an enormous amount of happy memories of the years we've had together. In the background here is one great year when we managed 7 winners at the festival, all under your watch, all under your guidance and with your help. And I can't thank you enough for all you've done for us, all your help, all the care you've taken of not only us, the horses, the people, our owners. We're just all incredibly grateful for a tremendous innings, and we wish you all the luck in your retirement, and hopefully we'll be seeing you. But more than anything, thank you very, very much for all you did and for all your help.
Hi Simon, I just wanted to say congratulations on the award that you're about to receive this evening. It's thoroughly deserved. And I also wanted to say thank you, because a lot of the success I had in my life revolved around the track that you produced. And producing a racecourse was one thing, but you had to run a whole meeting, from vets to doctors, ambulance, stabling, parking, you name it, you were in control of it. But I think one huge asset that you had was your ability to move with the times and change as you went through your career. Equine and human welfare have become so predominant in society, and you were able to adapt your track to fit the needs. You dealt with everything that was thrown at you, the wind causing havoc one Cheltenham Festival Wednesday, and you rescheduled everything, leaving frost covers on a particular Tuesday and moving the cross-country race. It didn't matter what happened, you were able to deal with it. I hope you enjoy your retirement. I wish you further success in your life, but I also wish Cheltenham the best of luck.
Hi Simon. I think out of everybody in this room, I'm probably the one that's most sad that you're actually leaving. We deal with each other on a day-to-day basis, and I can honestly say we've never ever had a crossword. So for me and all the ground staff here at the racecourse, we want to wish you the very best and thank you for everything that you've done for us. It also now means that I am now the shortest person working at Cheltenham Racecourse.
Hi Simon, I want to wish you good luck in your leaving Cheltenham after 30 fantastic years. 20 Cheltenham festivals, which is really amazing. But have a great time, good luck in the future, all the best.
Hi Simon, a big congratulations from everyone in Close Sutton. What a well-deserved award. You know, what an impossible job you had every year. I'm not talking about the ground, I'm just talking about trying to keep trainers happy. Impossible. However, you managed it effortlessly. And then producing ground from, I'll ask him, producing ground from October right up to the festival and smashing ground for the festival. A huge congratulations from all in Close Sutton. Oh. And, by the way, before you go, I hope we have the same arrangement with the new man, keeping that little strip of ground for me for the bumper every year. Now, I put in a word to you.
Hey class, massive congrats on your award tonight, hugely deserved. You really have made Cheltenham the home of jump racing, and you are a huge credit to the racing industry. Your professionalism and experience and OCD makes you unique, and you'll be greatly missed by all. I'm sure you won't miss any of the owners and trainers and jockeys in your ear all the time. But personally, it was an honour to sit with you on the committee and getting to learn some of your expertise. So thank you for that. I'm really sad to see you go, but thank you for all the epic days of racing you provided us with.